You started saying ukuthi Slee, she borrowed money and also borrowed clothes.
I know of bills she hasn't paid, and I've never ever uttered anything about it. It's shameful because she's done the exact same thing to many people I know. I'm bringing that to reunion, baby.
Good day everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the GC Loba and I am Loba, and today we'll be talking about the Real Housewives of Durban, and this is the final, like the last episode. Real Housewives of Durban have been an interesting one so far, but I feel for this season it's toxic and they add so much issues which they had to deal with, and we all know like Nonku was like someone who really started this season, like from the very first episode. I think I've been saying this all along, so let me just discuss on this last episode of the Real Housewives of Durban. The Real Housewives of Durban was quite interesting, and they continued this last season at the trip. So there was the trip they had with which Slee hosted was supposed to be the last trip for the season, and that was it. So I just want to discuss about the cast like one after the other and probably their role this last episode. So I'm starting with Annie. Annie was able to just she had a moment with Slee, and I was able to see that like Annie had actually kind of grown and kind of understand Slee, see Slee as a friend, in as much as Jojo is not there for her anymore. She also talked about how she's so pained about Jojo's how Jojo just kind of let go their friendship regardless of how she really held that friendship with so much how she held that friendship so much. So it actually did. I'm kind of pained for her, but it is what it is, and we all know that like I never saw Jojo coming to this season and being the person she has chosen to be. Like I never saw that coming, and that makes me feel like what Maria said about Jojo is true, about Nonku is true. So then there's this other thing again. There's this comment online that Annie and Sorisha's friendship with Sane is like a betrayal to Lundi, seeing how Lundi actually attacked seeing how Sane attacked Lundi during episode 2 when Lundi actually made her appearance. So for me, I feel like it's just one thing about life. Like you actually forgive people. You feel like okay, there are better sides to people. You cannot just say because of that now you feel like she's an evil person and the rest. And but upon watching this series, I mean this season, Annie and Sorisha will eventually see through Sane's bad attitude, and I feel their friendship must have ended seeing this season of the Real Housewives of Durban. So that's that for Annie. And Annie on the table actually still talked about Jojo and how she had let go all Jojo had done. So let me go to Jojo. You know, Jojo is someone who is always running away from being accountable to whatsoever she had done. Maria actually met with her, and the two of them discussed about why Jojo had decided to be like this and the rest. And Maria was trying to give a reason to apologize to the group all about everything she had done, especially when she hosted the ladies. But Jojo did not see a reason to apologize. She already zeroed her mind, and I feel like she already let go the friendship she had with Maria because she was like, "Oh, you can go and tell them all I've said and the rest." So I just feel like, though it's her choice, she has decided to choose Nonku over every other person, and yes, that's that. But I feel Jojo did not really handle things so well this season, and I saw this news on her Instagram where she was like she won't be coming for the next season, and many people are not ready to see Jojo. I like for me among the ladies who left the last season, I would have preferred if LaConco was still on the show instead of someone like Jojo. Yes, all London. So that's that for Jojo. Then Nonku is still being the vile mean, and I don't know which other adjective I can use to describe her, but she's still being a very horrible person, which she is. So I think Slee was trying to make amends, and probably all of them should be at a very good level and the rest. But it's just so annoying that every attempt Slee is making, Nonku is not really ready for that. So this episode we saw Slee actually went and gave what's her name, Nonku some gift and the rest, and she actually took everything, she put them under the water, and she even said it to Slee's face that she'll be putting everything what she did. It's so interesting that she's so truthful, but what she had done is not a very good one. Rather, you could have just tell the person like, oh, I won't be accepting this gift from this person, please return it. For me, I do not feel what she did is right. And she was even feeling like, yes, I did it and it is what it is. So it's just so bad to see what's her name? To see Nonku put out such attitude and the rest. So for Sorisha didn't really do too much this season, this last episode. She was more of quiet throughout. There wasn't so much from her. But she promised us to come with receipts for so I forgot to say something about Nonku. So Mbali actually kind of apologized to Nonku for going on and on about this story about the Mabusi vibe, but she actually clarified why she was so mad about the Mabusi vibe. I haven't seen previous episode season where Mabusi was a cast, so it's like Mabusi was treated as a piece of shit. Like Mabusi was not really giving. Mabusi was seen as like nobody on the show from the cast, especially Nonku. Mabusi was actually seen as nobody, and she was like, if Mabusi was portrayed, if Mabusi was seen that way, if Nonku had actually treated Mabusi that way previous seasons, and she's saying she's giving her Mabusi vibe, that means she's looking down on her, and that's why she was on and on with it. And now I really get to understand why Mbali was like that and how she reacted to it. And even when that thing actually came up, like when Slee told Mabusi, I was even giving an excuse for Nonku that probably she was of the view that, oh, Mbali reminds her of Mabusi, probably they look alike, or you get. But now, and even with Nonku's diary session, she was really like previous diary session, she really made it clear that yes, Mabusi vibe is more of like ghetto, it's more of being low life, yeah. So it's just so crazy to see that Nonku is just like this. So they actually hashed things out, but this was like a bit of more drama. So Mbali actually did talk about how Nonku had told her that Slee is low life, Slee borrows money from people. And initially when Nonku started this, I felt like probably this money, what's the name? Nonku is talking about like the money and the shoes and everything she claims Slee borrows around, like from her, probably as just for me to find out like from a third party, like another friend. I was like, what type of person is Nonku? It's just so annoying. And she, last episode, Slee actually asked her about it, like, oh, I heard you say this about me. And she was like, no, I never said this, blah blah blah. She really did defend herself and kind of claimed she never knew she had ever had that conversation with anybody. But now this episode, she's affirming that yes, I said all of this, but now she's saying yes, she did, like she's now giving I said what I said kind of vibe. So it was so annoying that this conversation between Mabusi and Slee, I said Mabusi, between Nonku and Slee went from 0 to 100 because Slee was very very angry and she could not kind of contain her anger. And then she stood up, walked up to Nonku and was ready to take off her wig. It's not very good to see African women do this because like we are portrayed, probably we've been seen as like ras, primitive and the rest, something like that. But on TV we not to see African women take off their wigs and go head to head. It's not something so nice, but I feel Nonku really pushed Slee to a limit. And from the very beginning, Slee had been going to all these religious leader, and she had been talking about how she's someone who could not really contain her anger, and she's been pushed by this group of women on this group, and she's trying to like kind of have a spiritual life that will make her not really go overboard or kind of do something crazy. And I was like, Slee had been avoiding something like this all along. Why we not push Slee to this level? I felt bad that Slee had to do that, but it is what it is. So that's it for Slee and Nonku. And Slee also went back and was like, yeah, and actually dragged Nonku for a man. Like, we all know the story around our man. So that's that for that. Which other person have I not discussed about on this episode? Okay, Sane, Sane is just that person. All I care for now is the reunion and see who will really get the most dragging. Like, who will be dragged the most? What will the reunion look like? Like, seriously, I feel like I will make another video where I'll talk about what will the reunion look like? What should we expect from this reunion? So this is all for Real Housewives of Durban season 3, and I want to talk about who and who do not deserve to come back for a new season. When we're talking about the friends, and oh, I did not talk about Maria. So Maria was trying to make everybody. So there is this conversation about Maria being trying her best to be relevant and the rest. Is she trying to be relevant? Yes, because that is not even in this episode. Maria started that, but it's more like um when she came into the group initially and she was all and all about, oh, Sorisha did not like me, Sorisha, and probably Sorisha feel threatened, she's the queen B and the rest. So that time I felt irritated and angry about Maria and the way she was moving around. But now I would not really blame her. Like there's not so much story from Maria's side, or probably she was not one of the cast which we really kind of look up to. Like, this season we had so much. I think the diamonds of the season, let me put it that way, were more of Nonku, Slee. I think, let me start like in an hierarchical level. I think Slee comes first. After Slee, we have probably Nonku. After Nonku, Sorisha, Annie, in that way. But for Maria, nobody, like, she's just there. But I will not really feel bad that she's doing all of this, because we are still the one that is still going to drag her if she was just acting like Mbali is doing. At least she's putting contribution into the group conversation, trying to make everything cool. So I'm not see it as her trying to be relevant or trying to do too much. It's just her playing a part as a cast of the show, instead of just being on the show without having a story, having anything. Like, your name will not even come up in conversation. So it's just her trying to fit into the group. So I do not see that as something bad to do. So this is all I'll be saying on Real Housewives of Durban season 3 and the final episode, at episode 5. Episode 12. I'm looking forward to the reunion and what drama awaits us. Bye for now.